I'm sure there's a percentage out there.
Okay, so
absolutely. But I think, in fact, the percentages that we have currently of people of women, sorry, I'm going to be specific with myself, of women that actually keep the child or at least continue the pregnancy, that those numbers are actually significantly higher.
If a woman wants to keep the pregnancy, that is absolutely horrendous.
It actually has been proven statistically that it's better for her mental health, actually. To get the abortion.
Where was this proven?
If I'm not mistaken, it was it the NIH or guys, what was that article at?
And it's a name of a lady like Margaret or Marlo. What are you talking about? It's the Turnaway study.
Yeah, the Turnaway study, my God.
It has
the interesting though is you're now focused on the mother's health, whereas originally you were focused on the fetus. So we've kind of come down to this idea though.
Because that's all you were focused on prior to the fetus being at 15 weeks. So because of that 15 weeks, okay, then we can worry about the fact that the fetus actually feels pain, etc., etc. But if you want to focus on by all means, let's have that discussion.
Okay, yeah, of course. I just want to clarify. Are you focusing on the mother clearly to just engage my point, or do you think the mother's pain also deserves some consideration?
I think both just deserve consideration. I don't understand why people don't understand that. I don't think it's very difficult.
Eliminate the enemy. Happy to step in.
In that scenario, and then asked SAP first place, and that's a terrible thing. But at the same time, now the stuff to this point in a way not very manner. So, like, you have to acknowledge
overhead.
Yeah, there's people who have abortions that were Reddit. There's also people who have abortions and they think that's threatening. Saying that at 15 weeks, especially with the scenario we're talking about earlier, to lean on regretting. I mean, I don't know. I think it has to be redone to person established pretty well is if it is a real need basically wants to give them that's their right to, because they're going through a lot of pain, they have a right to give that person up. And this idea of like, well, we have to protect this potential person who can feel pain, or faces who's I can't understand that. First, why is that person, why is that mother's pain most valued?
I don't forget. Hostile UAV in the area.
There is a possibility.
Enemy deploy the counter UAV.
First trimester, 7 possible gain for as early as
0.00001%. So, yes, there's always potential. There's always a statistical potential. That's how numbers work. I don't think that 1 in 50 million should justify protecting one person's pain over 50 million. It's the opposite.
research from 2021.
What percentage? It doesn't say the percentage.
Which percentage of fetuses experiencing this? It just says
Yeah, no, I can. But again, my thing is that no, because I think 15 weeks to me is inside of in general, I'm saying this idea of preventing pain is the most important.
How is he not dead? That's like 17 bullets.
Took a shot.
20 million have pain at 7 weeks, but everybody else does not, and the mother is feeling a bunch of pain in 1 second of abortion. You're going to receiving the vast 99% majority. And at 15 weeks, I do believe it's at least 95% of fetuses are not feeling any type of pain or feeling. But to me, that's the definition of what it's ungraded for. So I think that's when the law has to come and protect.
We have to take it out. Well, keep in mind, pregnancy is not rainbows and butterflies, my guy. So maybe like the first trimester, shit, but if it's still, you know, pain, you know, take it out.
You know, it sounds like everyone's saying this. What I'm saying is after that 15 weeks because now you're dealing with 2 people feeling pain, right? You have the law and you have the deal. I don't think we can really understand cases. It should be prevented. So once you're and like there's a potential that aborting your child will feel pain. Yeah, no, it can't happen. Now, there's a very conservative belief in general, although I know this panel isn't agreeing maybe that's conservative, but in general, a 15-week ban on that is a conservative belief. So that's why I'm on that 15 weeks, because afterwards, what you just said, yeah, you can't risk that. So I think you can risk a very small percentage because you're helping in general the vast majority of people who want to avoid feeling the further pain that they're having. But after that, you're dealing with 2 types of pain, and then you have to deal with that.
So, but if I can make someone not feel pain, you think it's permissible to do whatever you want to them?
If someone's like a conscious, like 22-year-old, you could, and you like injected them with something, no, it definitely is not. Same thing.
Why?
What about somebody born with SIBO?
For SIBO, you say what that is?
Yeah, it's a condition where the nerve endings don't respond. You don't feel pain.
Yeah, insurance. I mean, the law specifically, I'm sure it's protections, and if you're born, you have a bunch of rights, and I don't really know that once you're born, there's rights. And generally, yeah.
I wasn't even going to like if it's sex, I mean, and you go past this 15-week mark that they're putting on it, and they're more permissible to then allow them say 8 months because they can feel pain.
No, I'm simply saying 15 weeks, that's when you shut it off.
But you're not indexing to pain.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're taking like 0.05%, 0.01% of cases, and you're saying, well, what about this?
Doesn't matter.
I'm saying that's why we have to get rid of it.
Affecting your whether or not you're staying consistent. If you're indexing,
I am 15 weeks. 15 weeks.
but you're indexing to pain.
Hard point. Area located. Secure the hard point.
Pregnancy can determine baby has this disease. Arguing prior to 15 weeks, and I want to know, is that even possible? Are you making a hypothetical? That doesn't
This is why it matters, Carl.
UAV in the area.
weapons too also.
Determining a medical condition that's imposing a exceptions to laws.
Yeah, it's unjustified.
I'm saying is there's exceptions in every case. There's no perfect law. What I'm saying is this obviously was an exception. Mr. Philosophy
Yeah, King, I'm so sorry.
Enemy
your establishment of life. I just said my establishment of life is confused question.
using
Yes, if you have an answer, questions incoherent. See, that's what they do. Yeah, search game. Yeah, exactly. So just the game. Why would you be discussing what's implied in law? I've already established what I believe is right and wrong. I believe the law should protect people. So, protects 99% of people, 95% if we're going to be a little bit weird with the wording. Now, feel pain things. It is very rarely feels pain. So I believe that the mother's pain should be recognized by the glad you didn't answer my question as well. Thank you for interrupting for no appreciate it. Please don't interrupt, sir. I'm part of these conversations. Thank you. Ask the question. It's a little odd. I just said my premise. I just said it 2 seconds ago. If you'd like to engage it. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. How does pain convert more possibility? Taking fire! Is this subjective? What's the argument that we're always subjective? The argument is that everything's a different reason. Do you think that it's not you need to just come in here and say big words. So yeah, big pretty basic stuff. This is finger, okay? Logic, right? We have right here. One different. Usually a law of logic that's a violation that makes it not
confirming next hard point.
So I let here your theory of percentage morality to counter my subjective percentage. I disagree that percentage morality is subjective, so I like to hear your doesn't think anything would be possible that is subjective. I just asked you to bring your point to your objective. So you clearly have no objective.
Changing that.
That's
Copy.
fine.
UAV is on station. Area updated. Move to the hard point.
Tactical out. Ammo here. Tactical out.
It's okay to do anything to a human being if they can't obey.
Check your fire. Taking fire. Switching mags.
Conversation that Megan was having, which is why I was trying to make it away from her when she was having that conversation. You get taken away, so please explain.
Tactical out. Enemy KIA.
1 minute remaining.
Loading fresh mag.
Move to the hard point. Hostile mosquito is
This will establish a difference.
Here we go.
thirty seconds remaining.
Really just traded. What's
Tactical
the...
out.
Hard point relocating.
There's no limits.
Tossing tactical.
I got one of these
Chasing
murdered.
it up. Changing mag.
Hard point relocating. Secure the friendly UAV online.
So if you need it,
Hostiles launched a cruise missile. The mission's complete.
so
Good
the
work.
only reality is that people are so you think the argument in these cases in your view, yeah, we can't do the perfect law, but we can do is establish one for 15 weeks that protects 99% of abortions. Gee, all right. Well, if you want to engage in sentence, man, this guy thinks that this is a semantics argument. Like, is he Duncan? Is this guy like malfunctioning or what? Very much so. Do you guys have a belief, or still just? I believe in God, but that's irrelevant.
for this conversation.
All right, so that's a belief. Tell me what God believes.
Your
Oh yeah,
my
I told you my beliefs.
Yeah,
I believe that.
buddy.
No, you didn't tell me about what makes the womb so magical. You never told me about that.
Makes a woman magical?
No, the womb.
The womb. Why is it okay after they're born, but not okay like 5 minutes before? Why?
5 minutes before?
Yeah, 5 minutes before.
Yeah, like what about being?
permissible?
Yeah, what about being born makes it morally permissible?
No,
Like
5 minutes
protect
before I
individuals.
certainly didn't agree to. I said 15 weeks.
Buddy, and your criteria for that is what? Pain. And then I asked you if a human being was born without the ability to feel pain, would it be morally permissible to do whatever we want to it? And you said it was recorded live.
I've already established my beliefs that you can never establish a perfect law, but what
It's not about the law.
regulations.
Conversation.
So that's fine. I'm a political person. If you want to engage in a philosophical argument, you guys can establish my legal belief. It should be at 15 weeks. I very much established why that should happen.
How do you think those laws are iterated by any chance? Like, where do you think the laws come from?
They come from beliefs that are implemented policy.
Right, and how do you think those beliefs are analyzed, right? And then, like, how do you think the beliefs are synthesized, analyzed, and then the laws are then published, right? Like, do you think there's no sort of philosophical discourse or, like, introspection or any sort of dialectic? Okay, right. So we're talking about the normative ethics as what...
Do you think there's any part of policy debate, any type of legality, any type of stakeholder questioning? Or do you think that part doesn't?
Of course, that happens when it comes to implementing the law, right? But we're
Right.
talking about the
That's what I'm
ethics.
talking about.
We're talking about the normative ethics
Okay.
before the law, okay?
That's fine. If you want to talk about the ethics or the philosophy, you guys can do that. I'm going to drop out because I like to talk about the law. I like to talk about reality. I like to talk about what the impact of the government is. It sounds like you just want to talk about hypothetical philosophy questions. Yeah, that's okay.
If you could just listen. To try to say that this discussion isn't in the
Search and destroy. Secure our objectives. Do not let your guard down.
It is. But it's also the reality of
Come
the
on.
reality of tangible and personal. Yeah, regional employees.
But it has to be implemented. Yeah, but I'm just going to go back and ask, how can we possibly agree on anything pragmatic when we can't even figure out, like, we couldn't come to terms with whether our homosexual is, like, more
Why don't beliefs on this issue? You guys never insist your beliefs on that. So I can't discussion. Sure, another slide to engage with.
Yeah, sure, except I'm not here to have policy, at least as of yet. So,
We lost that round.
You just
Prepare for the
engage
next one.
in a discussion. You're not going to be here for, you know, a discussion. You can do that. If you like to share your belief, you can
I think we and I both agree, especially
Search and destroy.
the law and jurisprudence, that the
Set up a perimeter
jurisprudence is
around the
going to be the
objective.
objective
Do not let
standard
them
by
reach
which
it.
this is measured, and then we're also going to have to inject the U.S. Constitution, the founding documents, and case law, correct?
absolutely.
Great. Can you give me any case law at all that would negate the existence of the offspring in the womb?
That would negate.
Sure.
Sure. I believe that the Fourth Amendment allows for a woman to make that choice.
What?
The Fourth Amendment?
Absolutely.
And what does the Fourth Amendment state?
The right to be secure in persons, possessions, and papers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you understand what the Fourth Amendment means. What's the context of the Fourth Amendment?
As I just said,
Yeah, don't repeat it. I need a reduction.
what I'm a bit confused what you mean. What reduction would you like here?
1 minute remaining.
Consistent to be secure in their possessions and their person. I mean,
Because their persons and their papers.
sure.
Which effectively just means that
Enemy
the
planted at
government
Alpha.
can't just come and demand identification from you. That's all that means.
They also can't.
So
So that's pretty silly because the government also can't come up and take a blood sample. So it does actually involve your person.
well, that's obviously
Okay. So these are just involve papers. This one has a personhood, right? I don't agree with that. Why don't you agree with that? What's the legal context of personhood? That you're an individual the government does not have a right to touch without due process. Wait, and so is it the government's job to protect personhood?
You've won that round. Get ready for the next one.
It's the government's job to protect a combination of personhood, liberty. It's a combination of it. You know, it's dueling. Wait, I don't know what you mean by dueling there.
Switching sides.
So, but just to address the question directly, isn't the government's job, like fundamentally, to protect
Place the
personhood,
charges on the
or
target
what
and
you
destroy
understand
it.
personhood to be?
Hostile UAV in the area.
It depends on the context, certainly. Yeah, the context is simple. Person. No. So, under the legal system. So I believe if we heavily regulated firearms, we would protect a lot of people. But the government's obligation under the Constitution is to protect our right to bear arms, right? So in that capacity, the government has a dueling right, or a dueling obligation to protect two different rights there, right? I believe that regulating firearms more heavily would protect more lives. But they can't do that because they have an obligation to protect liberty in that capacity.
Yeah, it's also not an entailment
that by restricting the right to obtain property as well as the Second Amendment right to bear arms, this is going to innately lead to a loss of life. That doesn't follow. You don't think that your example falls short. You don't think
use the charges, blast the target. No mistake.
Towards loss of life. You cannot make that claim. So you can. There's you got to get that proposal. Hello, what was I going to say? Some guys from the city. You're going to deny gun violence. Sounds like. Yeah. So obviously, if you don't know what I was going to say, then I'm not really. It sounds like you were going to deny gun violence.
You've won that round. Get ready for the next one.
I'm really sure how I would prove the negation. You seem incredibly confused in the art of the So now I'm just going to bring this back full circle. You said that it's the government's job to protect personhood and liberty, right?
Search and destroy.
And liberty? What's the entailment of liberty under the legal
Secure
system?
our objective. Do not let your guard. The friendly UAV online.
As I already said. Yeah, there's going to be other amendments that have some kind of entailment of liberty. I'm asking specifically about liberty and not so much the amendments. I do believe our liberty comes from the Constitution, so I'm not sure why we're dismissing the amendments. Yeah, it wouldn't be built by the Constitution. It would be guaranteed by the Constitution. The liberty is going to be present whether the Constitution's there or not. The Constitution is the Constitution limit.
On to the next.
Decision in general, the government also limits individuals in some capacities. There is no capacity where the Constitution limits people. Yes, it does. Civil rights and civil liberties. Civil rights and civil liberties are nowhere in the Constitution. Right?
Set up a perimeter around the objective. Do not let friendly UAV
try
on
again.
station.
They're not there. Please explain to me how the Constitution barring slavery is not limiting individuals in that slavery. Yeah, no, because it doesn't limit anything. It just grants personhood. Did not have it.
You've won that round. Get ready for the next one.
I think the Civil War is about limiting. I'm not really sure why the Civil War is going to be relevant to the Constitution. The Civil War is relevant to the 13th and 14th. Yeah, is there any case law substantiating the Civil War? Yeah, the 13th and 14th Amendments. As a result of the Civil War, we're case law.
Place the charges on the target and destroy it.
The 13th and 14th Amendment create all case law.
UAV online.
The 14th.
You secure the device.
No, false. There is no instance where the Constitution create case law. That's severely Alright, please explain to me how that's
the mission is complete.
Yeah, because case law, right, is under the scrutiny of the Constitution. Case law is going to be prepared and judged by the Constitution. Case law is not established by the Constitution. You have to have something prior to that. You're severely confused here. So, sir,
So now we're going to go back full circle, and we're going to ignore that completely ridiculous statement that you just made.
What does
Can you tell
all
me?
law come from in the United States? What is all law?
Is the Constitution the ultimate law of the land? Absolutely. But is that how case law is established? No.
So you just agreed all law comes from the Constitution, but case law does not?
No, I did not say that all law comes from... Hello? I did not say that all law comes from the Constitution. I said that the Constitution is the ultimate law, the supreme law of the land.
You're correct. So all
what
law
you're trying to posit here is that there's somehow some form of like congressional scrutiny as it's applied by the Constitution prior to laws being made, and that's obviously not the case.
I never claimed any type of congressional.
That's the entailment of what you just stated.
I'd like to understand how me talking about the judicial branch brought you to the congressional.
Because you're trying to say that the Constitution establishes case law. It doesn't.
All laws passed by Congress, all laws interpreted.
None of them are scrutinized by the Constitution. Hello?
Are from the Constitution.
Did you fail civics class?
Apparently you did, because you don't seem to understand that all law is from
they
the
didn't teach us
Constitution.
that.
What? Can you tell me what judicial hearing took place to ensure constitutionality of laws prior to them being passed?
I believe that really comes down to Madison v. Marbury.
None. The answer is
I believe that's Madison v. Marbury, where the Supreme Court established their ability to interpret the Constitution.
Yeah, to interpret the Constitution, and in order for this to take place, what must happen?
All laws must come from the Constitution.
False. You're making the question. Try again.
So you don't believe all laws should come from the Constitution?
Hello? Hello? I'm asking you specifically, how is it that a case or any type of law comes to be scrutinized by SCOTUS?
Do not let your guard down.
Yeah, Madison v. Marbury.
False. Try again.
Okay, please tell me which case established the Supreme Court's ability to review laws as a constitutional matter.
Yeah, great. You just gave the answer to the prior question.
How is that not a chill?
Like desire to want to be right, and it's not going your way.
Round secure. On to the next.
If I'm as confused as you, I would think it's the something you're failing to understand is that a case is about in order for any law to be scrutinized by SCOTUS.
Search and destroy.
Such case comes to be, the law is codified,
Set up
then
a
there is
perimeter
no
around the
scrutiny.
objectives. Do not let them breach.
There is no checks and balances as it pertains to the legislative branch that ensures constitutionality of laws as they're drafted. It takes case law to bring that forward.
Discussing standing. What are you discussing?
Let's not use terms we clearly don't understand.
If you like to be rude, that's okay. If you'd like to engage in a proper discussion, we can do that, as we've been trying to do. If you'd like to say I don't understand things,
you don't have to track, and that's the problem.
Well, listen, you don't have to get angry.
As it's
having a discussion, sir.
Yeah, so Civics 101.
Oh, see, there it is. It's you being rude. Are you being rude because you're wrong?
I asked him because you're scared to be engaged. You don't know what rude is.
He's not being rude. You're just like freaking out.
So I'd like to understand, is telling someone they don't understand Civics 101 is that a proper way to engage in discussion?
That's not rude. That's just an observation.
Okay, so you make an like to engage.
You've got the bomb.
He's just making an observation.
Friendly UAV on station.
Hey, I don't need to hear you, host. Come on, sir.
Yes, so the legislative branch consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate. It's also, I don't know why you're laughing. The fact that I have to go over man is what's embarrassing for you.
So you want to tell me how many
representatives can stand on this dumbass's period while I finish my statement? That would be fantastic. Thank you. Now, the legislative branch consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate. This is also known as Congress. Now, when Congress convenes, there's representatives within each house and with each branch of that, and they come together. Sometimes they sign bills, sometimes they draft bills, and sometimes they get together with other representatives to try to co-sign bills. Then it's introduced as a draft to the House, where it's heard first. In the House, that bill is discussed in detail. If it doesn't go through, it goes back for revisions to the authors of said bill. Once that takes place, it's reintroduced and then it's heard. If it passes the House, a very similar process then takes place in the Senate. Once it goes through all the semantics in the Senate and they decide to pass it, then it's handed off to guess who? Oh, do we know? Yes, you might have guessed it, POTUS, to sign that into law. Once that happens, during this entire process, standing there for the U.S. Constitution to challenge any concept within any given bill or any piece of legislation to see if it's constitutional. It takes a case.
You've won that round. Get ready for the next one.
The Constitution This is how.
Switching sides.
Do you know what piece of legislation overturned Roe v. Wade? You can unmute and respond.
Dobbs v. Jackson.
Secure our objectives. Do not let your guard down.
See, so only when I'm permitted can I engage.
Yes, when I give you permission, exactly. I'm glad you're tracking.
Oh, that's what it respond directly. Roe v. Wade? Can't remember it off the top of the dome now. And also, sir, you're aware Congress
I'm not really sure why you're responding with anything other than
millions of dollars of lawyers to look at their bills. You're aware of that, correct?
That's irrelevant.
Well, you said bills.
Hey, these lawyers review the text in these bills
To adhere to the Constitution, correct, sir?
False. It is to make sure that the legalese is coherent. That's the only reason. You work in the government, think of a single set of circumstances where that's any of your concern.
Did you work in the government capacity, or?
I can't think of a single set of circumstances where that's any of your concern.
Yeah, there's no reason
Set
why
up a perimeter around the objective. Do not let them reach it.
Well, sure, because if someone, as I do, works in a government of some kind, they would understand and just be
creative authority would be relevant.
Yeah, wait,
Okay,
you work in
fantastic.
government. You understand how civics works?
So is it live just coming down to
1776 out of because you're
please don't interrupt.
how this works. So now, back to what I asked you. What is the case law that overturned Roe v. Wade?
Jackson v. something, I believe.
Yes, it was Dobbs. Can you tell me the
First on target.
crux?
Solid work. We have secured the field. Mission accomplished.
Constitutional rights.
Yeah, sure. It's just like asking for something very specific.
So the crux would be a bit you're lacking nuance because obviously the minority.
There's no nuance there.
No, there was also there were multiple opinions going on there, so certainly there's nuance.
Yeah, there's a consensus across the members of SCOTUS. What was that? What was the crux of that decision?
I do believe there was two. You had the majority opinion, and then you had the side. The side opinion. I do believe it came down to the 14th Amendment. Specifically, they were really looked at did not establish a right to abortion constitutionally. Also, it came down to the equality clause of that amendment, where they did not believe that women having a right to abortion was prescribed. But all people are entitled to equal treatment under the law or something along those lines. No. Well, please tell me.
The crux of the Dobbs decision was an open court concession by SCOTUS due to the misinterpretation of the why you're interrupting me. Now, just for the answer, I'm going to give it now. Thank you. Now, this was an open court concession by SCOTUS that they misinterpreted the 14th Amendment as it correlates to personhood, and that they deemed that the 14th Amendment representation of personhood did in fact extend inside of the womb, thus overturning Roe v. Wade and sending the decision back to the states because they couldn't override states' rights. Yeah, page 4, paragraph 2.
What's the state rights thing?
No, it's not a states' rights thing.
Well,
it's the misrepresentation or the misinterpretation of personhood as it pertains to the 14th Amendment. I stated this very clearly.
Well, you finished with state rights, so it's a bit confusing we're talking about.
Yeah, I finished with states' rights
Search and
because they
destroy.
couldn't do it.
What's
That's
the
the reason
objective?
why they can't
Set up security.
ban, because the federal government cannot trample state rights.
Certainly means
But it's not even being attempted. It's nowhere at all. That's just it.
they didn't put it to committee. I mean, that's what we use, not even. I can find you a committee on their party abortion. There you go. Philosophy and legality or what? No, I was looking for the thing I just said. But if you'd like to be rude, you can keep doing that.
So look, it's just going to be the case here, right? That per the Unborn Victims of Violence Act, which is going to be the first piece of case law that I'm going to reference, this was codified as in 2004. It's recognized in 38 states that states that should a pregnant woman be
1 minute remaining.
the person that committed that crime would be charged with a double homicide. This is going to be the first piece of case law that ever really used to establish personhood within
Only you remain.
this
Finish the
law
mission.
has no restrictions or no limits or no limitations of gestational age. The second thing I'm going to reference is, in fact,
How is that not a kill?
Steve Jackson
Prepare
being
for the
in
next one.
concession that SCOTUS misinterpreted personhood as it relates to the 14th Amendment. They say that this would be SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, interpreting the Constitution, that the Constitution
Search and
does
destroy.
grant personhood to the offspring inside of the
Defend
womb
the objective.
for the sake of legality. So you can argument here.
I mean, careful. The reason that we say 39 states have adopted that would be because consent.
There's no consent anywhere. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, when you have a child, it should be consensual. I believe any child is consensual.
Interpret the Unborn Victims Thank you so much, Annika, for the gifts. I greatly appreciate you. You are always a blessing. Reference consent as it pertains to the Unborn Victims of Violence Act. Clearly, there's not going to be any relevant consent when it
that is my point.
violently aggressing a
They planted at Bravo.
woman. What the fuck are you on about?
Yes, correct. So, if a woman is non-consensually assaulted, right? Easy.
The round is lost. Focus on the next one.
Very right.
Can you extrapolate what it means?
Jason, let me make my point. Yes, okay. You were touching any
Switching sides.
capacity that you do not want to be.
Yeah, that's just
Search and destroy.
It's just assault.
Plant the charges and demolish the objective.
Needs to be objective there.
Seriously?
There's no legal. It does not entail. Yeah, it does not.
Yes,
The Victims of Violence Act does not entail rape.
okay, so can I say my point? Okay, so you'd like to keep everything entailed. So can I say my point, or would you like to let me say my point?
Yeah, I would love for you to extrapolate what violence means as it pertains to that.
Okay, so if a woman is violently assaulted and non-consensually, it has a baby girl in her. She has an extraordinary right.
It's fuck all to do with that bill. Nothing.
How does that have nothing to do? Because the key of the law is that woman didn't decide to be shot and killed. She didn't decide to be murdered.
Oh my god. You are literally dumb.
Like, if you'd like to be rude,
Final minute.
sir, if you'd like to be rude, that's okay. It sounds like I don't understand your argument.
About how you feel.
Young man, it sounds like you're using the argument. It's okay if you would like to be rude.
So can you just engage?
It's okay if you'd like to be rude. You're the one who's calling me dumb, sir. I've been trying to explain. And your friend here keeps.
We lost that round. Prepare for the next one.
In the case, is going to pertain to a woman being raped.
Search and destroy.
Establishing consent of a woman with their
Place
child.
the charge. Detonate the
A
target.
woman who consents to having a child. That
You
child
secured the device.
deserve protection aspect of the case. If they are not consenting to that, you must put exceptions into that type of legislation. But when you're doing
Can I go for this map?
about murder, about killing someone, there's no consent.
How is that not a kill?
And their life is taken, and so is the life that
The gun is so slow.
You have to engage with that very differently than you're engaging with someone who's consensually had a child, and then might have an issue down the line.
The government doesn't have to engage.
The round is won. Focus on the next one.
Voluntarily pregnant. Okay.
Certainly it does if it's passing laws or regulating their baby. But you don't believe
No.
You don't believe the government should engage with women who they're passing
Switching
laws.
sides.
Yeah, can you ground the obligation?
I just
Search
did. I
and
just
destroy.
You're just saying it exists. Now, can you tell me what I
Watch the
just
objectives. Set up security.
also?
Can you tell me what I Sir, please tell me what I just explained.
What is considered?
Please tell me what I just explained.
Yeah, a whole lot of fucking nothing.
Okay, so you're
So,
sorry.
the only thing you
Engage in
the only
understanding.
thing you did was yap about absolutely
Okay,
nothing.
so you don't know what I'm saying. You're clearly not listening. And that's okay, first you're giving it to me. You think that's saying please don't sir, please don't sir, please don't think that you're the alone please don't
Enemy planted at Bravo.
sir, you think you're saying you exist, sir, please don't confused individual. You think I'm just saying something exists?
We lost that round. Prepare for the next one. Search and destroy. Defend the objectives.
Getting this is not easy. Getting semi-automatic. They're arguably the worst guns.
So, Duncan, can you say what I just said?
No, because what you stated was incoherent.
Hostile incoming.
Yeah, extremely honest. So here's what you did.
Listen,
You're like, calm down.
Hostiles launched the cruise
What you
missile.
did, you checked the you went on to go on some tangent about rape, and you mentioned consent, which is not going to be relevant. Specifically about a woman succumbing to violence, dying to violence, while she's
Remaining. You've won that round. Get ready for the next one.
How laws
Switching sides.
he thinks that all laws
Search and destroy. Plant the charges and demolish the objectives.
interrupting your
You've got the bomb.
Flanking here.
Seriously?
Are you pro-life or pro-choice?
I'm pro-choice.
Fantastic.
Mission compromised. We've failed.
You know, quite challenging emotionally. That's why it's very.
Give these suspicion.
I should have got like 2 or 3 kills. The semi-automatic rifles are not good.
Rip away.
All right, here we go. Infinite. Rogues. Yes. Very good. So your on-site flame also Sensei and Conqueror. My favorite line of Asuma's is, I give to you my willingness. Aliens, definitely folks. Scammy. There we go. I'm Skip Starlight and I play that guy, the magnificent Mr. W. Let the violence explode.
Search and destroy. Secure our objectives. Do not let your guard down.
Moving this way.
There we go. I'm Skip Starlight and I play
You've won that round. Get ready for the next one. Search and destroy. Set up a perimeter around the objective. Do not let them reach it. Round secure. On to the next.
anxious to be out there.
Switching sides.
Just for getting something to trade and just playing.
Search and destroy.
You know, I can't wait to just be out there, you know.
Use the charges. Blast the target. No mistake. You've won that round. Get ready for Place the charges on the target and destroy it. You've got the bomb.
Yeah.
Flanking here. Moving this way.
Standing by. Only you remain. Finish the mission. Care package standing by. The round is lost. Focus on the next one.
This I
Switching sides. Search and destroy. Secure our objectives. Do not let your guard down.
Solid copy. Care package deployed at your mark.
Round secure. On to the next. Search and destroy. Set up a perimeter around the objective. Do not let them reach it.
Flanking here.
How is that not a kill?
We lost that round. Prepare for the next one.
Is to substantiate that you can. And I think that's the important takeaway there is just make sure you understand those things.
Switching sides. Search and destroy. Use the charges, blast the target. No mistake. Secure the device. Friendly UAV on station.
UAV is on.
Moving this way.
Be advised, UAV is exiting the AO.
You've won that round. Get ready for the next one. Search and destroy. Place the charges on the target and destroy it. Enemies are all down. You've done us proud. The mission is complete. Good work.
benefits from all these things, right? So, like outcomes wise, it's still worse, obviously, which you guys were talking about.
Yeah, but that's not what he wanted to listen to. Even when he wanted to back them. He wanted to back Will completely.
It's an individual that thinks that if you can't feel pain, you are very painful.
Yeah, what that thinking?
He was looking for relief. Feelings. He said he was on his chest.
Choice, right? I give them the argument that, you know, this year institution, you know, you know, that would justify killing people. So I don't take it that well. Or committing an acts of justice. Only do an abortion or dismiss cases. Abortion, and I don't take it that well. So,
Search and destroy. Defend our objective, soldier.
Flanking here. Moving this way.
Only you remain. Finish the mission. Enemy planted at Alpha. We lost that round. Prepare for the next one. Search and destroy. Secure our objectives. Hostile UAV in the area. Won that round. Get ready for the next one. Switching sides. Search and destroy. Place a charge on your target and level it. You've secured the device. Planting at Alpha. Device in place. Countdown started.
And also that.
Round secure. On to the next. Search and destroy. Plant the charge and detonate the objective. You've got the bomb.
Flanking here. Moving this way.
Setting device on Alpha. Stand by.
Movement here. Cancel last.
We've won that round. Get ready for the next one. Switching sides. Search and destroy. Defend our objective, soldier. It's down to you. Finish the mission. The round is lost.
Yeah, I shot
Focus
like
on the
5
next one.
shots.
Search and destroy. Secure our objectives. Friendly UAV online.
How is he not dead? It's 16 bullets, basically.
Legislations.
1 minute remaining.
Some states, they try to
We lost that round. Prepare for the next one. Switching sides. Search and destroy. Place a charge on your target and level it. Enemy UAV active. You secured the device. Friendly mosquito deployed.
Flanking here.
reality is, I never needed that review, so
said that people feel like
Final minute.
person, human, in a conversation, the same thing. Right? Same way, I mean, those are different things, right? I agree that, the fetus is human, living from conception. Is being human and alive the type of distinction just merely the thing where it's,
We're planting at Alpha. 30 seconds remain. The round is lost. Focus on the next one. Search and destroy. Plant the charge and detonate the objective. Friendly cruise missile deployed. Only you remain. Finish the mission. Hostile UAV in the area. We lost that round. Prepare for the next one. Switching sides. Search and destroy. Defend our objective, soldier. Enemy UAV active. Mission failed. Return to base.
This was the best video that I saw on the internet last week.
What's your favorite thing?
State is one of the worst maps.
Search and destroy. 141. Plant a charge on the target and level it.
It is.
You've won that round. Get ready for the next one. Search and destroy. Move in and detonate the target. You've secured the device.
Moving.
Come on. How do you know I was there? How did he know I was there?
There's no medical necessity for abortion, right?
I know that, but I had 2 stupid pregnancies and I had to get a purchase.
Final minute.
You said a very key word there. Ectopic pregnancy is not cured with abortion.
What are you trying? You don't know these things. When a baby gets stuck in your stomach,
That's the case. Let me defer to the woman who told that organ.
30 seconds left. Seconds. We're planting at Alpha. We lost that round. Prepare for the next one.
It specifically says
Switching sides. Search and destroy. Set up security around the objective. Friendly UAV on station.
Hostile located.
1 minute remaining. Round secure. On to the next. destroy. Keep the enemy off the objective.
There once was a woman who joined the TikTok band. She believed it to be the case that
Hostile UAV in the area.
just didn't have a say in certain things
Enemy movement.
due to their
Moving. Final minute.
So, while vampires aren't necessarily real, the rationale that she administered to this silly was absolutely
Only you remain. Finish the mission.
So I'm crashing out on 3 crashes.
30 seconds remain.
Abortions.
It's pretty amazing because, like, I just don't understand. You could have stayed calm and had an actually productive conversation. You chose
10 seconds remaining.
you asked a question.
They planted a Bravo.
Oh, come on.
The round is lost.
Okay.
Focus on the next one.
Those words did not come out.
Switch side. Search and destroy. 141. Plant a charge on the target and level it.
Enemy moving to my mark.
their semantics being skewed different than even this person.
You've won that round. Get ready for the next one. Search and destroy. Move in and detonate the target.
Moving here. Enemy here.
How was that not a kill? That was like 3 bullets. That was literally 3 bullets. It's inconsistent.
Switch side. Search and destroy. security around the objective. Friendly UAV online. Enemy movement in the AO. Enemy movement. Enemy planted at Bravo.
Enemy marked.
Finally, I don't have to use this weapon.
Hostile still hot. Move fast. Right, stand down. The round is lost. Focus on the next one. Search and destroy. Keep the enemy off the objective.
Moving.
That's a pretty simple thing. Just the story of it, lady. Yeah, what does the kids say now? Oh God.
Enemy planted at Alpha. Moving to my mark. We lost that round. Prepare for the next one. Switching sides. Search and destroy. 141. Plant a charge on the target and level it. You've got the bomb. Friendly Mosquito deployed.
Enemy here.
See, look how many shots it takes. It took like 5 shots. I hate semi-automatic rifles.
One minute remaining.
Germany's cities lion.
You would have merged two companies without aligning the numbers. So why build the future without aligning how they work?
Enemy UAV active. Seconds left. Tracing device on Alpha. Stand by. Device in place. Countdown started. Our device was disarmed. Mission failed. Return to base.